Hello and happy Wednesday. Today we are going to be working with picture graphs. This is topic 14, lesson 4. And so today we are going to draw picture graphs and use them to solve problems. So picture graphs are just another example of a type of graph that we can use. So we've looked at line plots and we've looked at bar graphs, and now we are going to be using picture graphs. So when we did line plots, we used a number line and put little dots above each number. When we used a bar graph, we colored in long horizontal rectangles. Today, to plot our data, we are going to use pictures. So if we look at this, if you look at your paper on the solve and share problem, it says the graph shows the favorite subjects for a class. How can you use the graph to write the data in this table? Tell how you know. So we have our picture graph here, and our title is favorite school subject. Remember, it's important to have a title on our graph. It lets everyone know what the graph is talking about and what the data is going to be. And then we have our four subjects: reading, math, science, and social studies. And at the bottom, we have the number of students, and we have the numbers 1 through 8. And down here, again, for some reason, when I screen share with you, I can't scroll down, but you do have a table in front of you with reading, math, science, and social studies. So what we're going to do is look at the picture graph, and we're going to figure out how many students like each subject. So we'll start with reading, and we'll count how many pictures. Each smiley face is going to count as 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 students chose reading as their favorite subject. Okay. Now we'll go to math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's in the 6th box. So 6 students chose math. And then I'll write science and social studies here. So we'll do 1S for science, 2 S's for social studies. So science has 3 and social studies has 1. Whoa, we don't want that, do we? See, even teachers make mistakes. Okay, so now let's watch the video here and learn some more about picture graphs.
How can you show data in a picture graph? Let's find out. The tally chart shows the favorite ball games of Ms. Green's class. You can show the same data in another way. Choose a symbol to represent the data. The symbol will be a stick figure. Each symbol represents one student. A picture graph uses pictures to show data. You can draw the symbols to show the data.
So we're going to look here. We have baseball, soccer, and tennis, and we use tally marks. And remember, if you look specifically at soccer, when we have 4 and then a line diagonal, this represents 5. Okay, so we're going to start with baseball. That is 2 tally marks, which means it's going to get 2 stick figures. The tally marks each represent 1 student. The little stick figures each represent 1 student. So now we'll look at soccer. Whoa. This is 5, 6, 7, 8. So I know I need to put 8 students. And while you're drawing your own pictograph today, if you could try and line up your pictures as best as you can, that would be so helpful. So if you see here, my first ones for each are lined up, my second ones for each. It just helps us to count a little bit easier. And then for tennis, we have 4. And pictures are just a fun way to create your own graph.
Look at the picture graph.
8 students chose soccer.
How many students chose tennis as their favorite sport?
Each of these
4 students chose
is
tennis.
1,
How do you know?
right? If they tell us at the bottom that each stick figure is 1 student. So we have 1, 1, 1, 1. That makes 4.
There are 4 stick figures in the graph, and each stick figure represents 1 student. How would you read the graph differently if each stick figure represented 2 students?
So if each of these represents 2 students, we would have to count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8.
4 students chose baseball, 16 students chose soccer, and 8 students chose tennis. Why is a picture graph a good way to display data? The pictures are easy to see and count. How can you check if the correct number of symbols were drawn for each game? You can compare the number of symbols to the number of tallies for each game. They should be equal. Now you know how to show data in a picture graph.
Oh, great. So we'll go back here. You could turn the page in your packet. Again, my screen is having trouble. There are 2 questions down here underneath guided practice that you're going to have to use your own paper to solve. I believe one of them asks a question about the blue pencil or favorite color of blue. So please know that I cannot scroll when I screen share with you, so I'm unable to see those 2 questions. But your packet is blue, so your 3 blue boxes up here are going to be a review from the video. But I do want to point out to you 2 words that are highlighted in yellow. So we have a symbol. We're using picture graphs. We are using symbols instead of numbers, and we're using symbols to help us write our data. So for this graph, the favorite ball games, our symbol is a stick figure. When we looked at this graph, our symbol was a smiley face. So it's using pictures that we would like to relate to the graph that we're looking at. So this one, they used stick figures. People are playing the games. Down here, they used, the graph is about favorite colors. So they're using a pencil. Okay, you can use whatever shape that you would like. The easiest thing to do is to use a very simple shape. That way you're not spending so much time drawing in your picture graph. Okay, you can use diamonds, hearts, triangles, something as simple as just a basic shape like that as well. And then the other word that we have highlighted in yellow is picture graph, and that is just using pictures to show our data. So in the Do You Understand box, it says, how are the tally chart and the picture graph for the favorite ball games of Miss Green's class alike? So in a second, I'm going to have you pause the video. I want you to tell me, how are they similar or alike? How does the tally chart and the picture graph, how are they alike? So both represent data, right? And they both have the same amount in each category. There are 2 people that chose baseball as their favorite. That's in the tally chart. They also have 2 pictures in the baseball category. So they have the same amount in each. If your picture graph has one more or one less, you should need to go back to your tally chart and double check. They should have the same in the tally chart and in your picture graph. Okay? So you're going to use, down here for the guided practice, you're going to use the tally chart to help you finish the picture graph and answer the 2 questions. As you move on in today's math, you're going to use this tally chart and this picture graph to answer all of these questions down here. And it tells you that you're going to be drawing a stick figure for this graph. For favorite season, you're going to be drawing a stick figure, and each stick figure represents 1 vote. Okay. And then as you continue on, again, you're going to be using trees, and it shows you kind of a fancy tree down here. Anytime I look at this tree, I think of Dr. Seuss. You can make your tree look however you want, but they are asking you to use a tree here. Okay. And you'll use this tally chart and this picture graph to answer all of the questions on this page. And then you'll go over your homework page, which is just a review. So you have smiley faces on this graph, and then you have movie tickets on this graph, and it tells you to draw a ticket. And you don't have to write the word ticket. You could just write T or just leave it blank. But please be aware that they are showing you which symbol they would like you to use. Have fun.